Now, if you've clicked on this video, you've probably already seen different tools and workflows that allow you to turn Figma designs into code. But what if I told you that now you can go way beyond that? Imagine clicking just a few buttons and watching your entire Figma design get turned into a fully functional web app. And with a few extra prompts, building out real-world functionality like user authentication, payment processing, AI functionality, database integration, and even more. Well, this is now possible with a tool called Rocket. Rocket allows you to take your designs and turn them into fully functional apps using AI, without any previous experience or writing a single line of code. With Rocket, if you're a Figma designer, you're now also a developer. In this video, I'll walk you through exactly how Rocket works, from start to finish, so that you're able to take any of your designs and turn them into fully functional web apps or mobile apps without writing a single line of code. So let's get right into it. Now, when getting started with Rocket, this is what it's going to look like. On the top, you'll see the templates button. This is where you can click to actually get started the Rocket templates. And then in the middle of the screen, you'll see the chat window. So here we can actually prompt Rocket with natural language to describe our idea and get started building. But the button that we're interested today is the import Figma button. If you click on this one, we can get started building with Figma. First, we'll have to connect our Figma account. So just press connect. Then we'll have to press allow access, and that's it. Our Figma account is now connected. Now, to get started, we can either enter a URL for our Figma project or the URL for the screen that we are trying to import. So there's two options, either a screen or either the entire project. But before we do this, I wanted to mention a few things to make sure that you get the best results possible. Number one is to make sure that you actually check out the Rocket Figma guidelines. We'll leave a link for that in the description down below. By following these guidelines, you can make sure to set up your project correctly so that you get the best possible results when generating your app. Another thing to note is that if you want your app to be responsive, so look good on multiple screens, is that when you build your project in Figma, you should be using auto layout. Without auto layout, Rocket will have a hard time making sure that your screens are responsive on all devices. The web app will look great, but you might have issues when it comes to smaller screens. It is not the end of the world if you didn't use auto layout. Rocket might be able to figure it out. However, if you want to make sure it works right out of the box, make sure to use it. Another thing to note is prototyping. Whether you have prototyping set up or not, Rocket can support both of these files, and it will do its best to make sure to link different screens and different pages together. This is not that much of a big deal because you can fix all of the navigation within your app using just one prompt. In this video, we'll cover different examples. We'll go over web apps as well as mobile apps, and I'll show you examples for both, for using auto layout and not using auto layout, so that you can see the differences. But now, let's get building. So we will start with the web app. Here we have a healthcare web app designed in Figma, but it was not built using auto layout. You can see the different screens we have here, and here we can see prototyping in action. For example, services, taking you to the services page. We also have a cases page, a referrals page, and a few others. So now let's import it into Rocket. I'm gonna click on share, then I'm gonna copy the link, paste the link in Rocket, and then press enter. Okay, now Rocket will take a few seconds to understand our request. It's detected our Figma project. As you can see here, we have our healthcare app, then we have the app version without the prototype. If we go back to Figma, we could see it here on the other page. We want to proceed with the prototype version. Here on the right, you'll see all of our different screens. We could select them individually, but I'm gonna click on select all. Then I'm gonna click on import. Next, Rocket will ask us what tech stack we want to use. I'm gonna choose React and then click continue. Then we'll have to choose a language. I'm gonna go with JavaScript. Then we'll have to choose a design system, Tailwind CSS. And now Rocket will begin scanning all of our Figma designs and begin turning them into code. This will take 10 to 15 minutes as Rocket will try its best to make sure that we have as close to the functional app as possible just from this import. You'll be able to see the update on the progress here on the left side with the green ticks. And okay, our project has been generated. If you click on the full screen button, you'll actually be able to see our app in full screen. The screens look exactly the same as our Figma project. And the menu works as well. They can navigate the different pages. But let's check their responsiveness. In the top right, you'll see this little button where you can actually change the screen size. Now we're in the desktop, so I'm going to change it to iPad, and I'm going to change it to mobile. And so far it's looking all right. Okay, we have some text glitches here. And yeah, these cards are not looking really good either. Let's go to web, but on the web it looks good. Let's check out the events page. These look good as well. If you click on code, you can actually see all of the code and the different files that were generated for this project. And then if we go to settings, we can actually set up the integrations here. Now in the integrations tab is where you could actually link your API keys to external services like Supabase, ChatGPT, Stripe, Gemini, Recent, etc. That way you can actually implement real functionality to your apps. And then once you set up your API key, you could prompt Rocket to set up the functionality within your app. You could also just prompt Rocket directly the functionality that you want to build out, and it will give you an option to set up the API key in the chat window itself. We're not gonna go over it in this video, as in this video we're just going over the Figma functionality. But if you want to see exactly how you can do that for your apps, make sure to click the link in the description to check out one of our previous videos where we covered all of this in a lot of detail. But now let's try another Figma project. Here we're going to try another project that was built with auto layout. However, it doesn't have a prototype. So this project is actually a furniture store. We've got all the different pages here. As you could see, they're quite detailed. And as you could see, it was built with auto layout. So let's get the link for this project, import it to Rocket, and we can see all our screens here once again. I'm going to click select all, and then import the screens. Now another quick note is that whenever you build anything with Rocket, it will be using your account's tokens. You get 1 million tokens for free on the free account, which is more than enough to build an MVP, a landing page, or a basic website. But as each one of the pages that you import into your project uses tokens, make sure that you only import the pages that you actually want in your app. And if there are any pages that are very similar to others, you might not need to import them in the first place. You can just import one page and then later duplicate it within your project and make a few changes. That way you can save on your tokens. However, for our example, we're just importing all of the screens to show you how the functionality works. So once again, I selected our framework, our design system, and now our screens are being imported. Our preview has been generated. Let's check out our app. As you can see, it perfectly imported our Figma project. Looks beautiful. Everything we had in our design is here, even the little animations. However, for this project, as I mentioned before, we didn't have a prototype set up, so none of the menu is working. So I'm just going to give it a quick prompt to implement navigation to all of the links, buttons, and cards in our app. Then I'm going to click send and then wait for a few moments for that to get integrated. Okay, now links have been added, so let's test it out. Clicking on the shopping cart, as you could see, that it works. Let's try checking out. That works as well. And the buttons in the footer also work. Let's check out the profile. Looks good. My orders also looks good. Let's go to wish list and then back to homepage. Let's check out the collections. So as you can see, there's just one prompt. We set up the entire navigation for our web app. Back in our project, if you actually click on the Figma tab on the top, you could see the original Figma screens. If you wanted to, you could compare it between the preview to see how well it imported. But okay, what do you do if you actually want to edit any parts of this design? Well, you could prompt it the way we did before for fixing the links, or you can click on the top on the visual edit button. And then you can click on any element that you would like to edit and edit it here on the left. As you could see, when we change the margin here, that is being updated live in our app. In there, you can also change the colors, font sizing, etc. To navigate our app, instead of using the apps menu, we could also use the pages button on the top. This way we can quickly navigate between the different pages in our web app. But now let's actually check out the responsive design and see how well it worked. As you could see, it worked perfectly because this app was designed with auto layout. Let's check out another page. All of the design here is looking good. But let's say there's a screen that we forgot to import. If you wanted to add another screen, you can just click on the add new screen in the bottom left, then click from the same file, and then choose any extra screen you would like to add. But now let's try another project. This one also has auto layout and no prototype. This project is actually a crypto marketplace. So once again, let's import it into Rocket, select all of the screens, and now we just wait for the screens to generate. Okay, our preview is now ready. Let's take a look. It's looking decent. There's a few things here that we need to fix. However, as you could see for this one, even though we have no prototype setup, Rocket was able to figure out some of the navigation. The active bids worked, the messages worked, the settings worked, saved button also works, collections also work. Okay, pretty awesome. But now let's actually fix up our project. So one way we can actually fix things in our project is by using images. Here in our Figma project, you will see that actually we have our profile here, the drop-down menu. However, our Rocket project did not have that. So what I'm going to do is take a screenshot of that element. Then I'm going to send it back to Rocket and tell it that in our Figma project, we have this functionality. However, in the Rocket project, you just included a simple text drop-down. Please fix it. Okay, it fixed it. However, we don't have an image there. The placeholder image is not there. So I'm going to take a screenshot, once again, send it to Rocket and prompt it to fix that. Okay, it was able to fix the image and the menu works as well. However, our notification pop-up wasn't working. So I'm going to tell it to link our notification button on the top right to a notification pop-up that we had in our Figma project. And I also asked it to fix some of the buttons in the drop-down menu. Okay, that's been completed. Let's test it out. The notification button works. That's great. And the navigation from the drop-down menu works as well. Let's try out a different page. That also works. In our homepage, if you remember, the image in one of the cards didn't render properly. So let's fix it. The way I'm going to fix that is by clicking the visual edit button and then clicking on the image that we want to update. And then I'm going to prompt it in natural language, telling it that the image is not loading properly in that element that we selected. Okay, it's now fixed that image. I recommend using the visual editor this way when you want to prompt Rocket to change a specific element. This way it's much more accurate and you make sure that Rocket doesn't accidentally change something else. We could also see the button here that is actually going white, and then we can't see the text. So once again, I use the visual editor to select the button that we want to change and then prompted Rocket to fix it. Okay, and now the button looks good. And now let's try out one last web app. This one has no auto layout and it only has a partial prototype. It's just a landing page for a startup. Here you could see the prototype. We've got a few different pages linked, but now let's send it to Rocket. I imported the link, chose all of the screens. Okay, the screens have been generated. Let's preview them. I'm gonna go to full screen and then scroll through the page. So far looking good, pretty close to our Figma project. However, the navigation is not all working. There are some issues with the elements that I saw. This looks good. We got that part right. This section looks good as well. Now we have a form here. Let's try it out. We can actually fill these fields and the drop-down menu works as well. Now, if you were happy with this and you wanted to publish it simply as a web page, you can go on the top right, press publish, and then publish it to the web. This will publish it directly to your Netlify account so that you have full control over hosting of this page. By the way, you can link your Netlify account in the Rocket main menu. When you click on profile, click on settings, then go to integrations, you'll see in the Netlify account here. If you click here, you can then link your account. All you have to do is press authorize, and that's it. Your Netlify account is now connected. Okay, and our app has now been published. If you click on the link given, we are able to actually access our app on the web and share this link with other users. Now let's go back to our app and let's actually preview it on different devices. On mobile, yeah, it doesn't look quite right, as obviously we did not use auto layout, but on the web it was looking good. Let's say we wanted to change this entire design. We don't actually have to stick to our Figma project, we could just use it as a starting base. So here, for example, I'm going to tell it to turn the whole website into a dark theme. And as you could see, it's done exactly that. We now have a dark theme of our Figma project. On the left in the chat, you'll actually see the code diff button, and here we can see the differences in the code that have been made from our previous version. If we scroll through, we can see all of the differences. This is quite useful for any developers out there. Let's see the rest of our app in dark theme as well. As you can see, try to turn the entire project into dark theme. We have some elements that we need to change there, but those were images. It wouldn't be able to edit them, obviously. It was only able to edit the parts that are actually the design elements. But now, let's say we were happy with it, we could press on publish again and then update our app. This way, the updated version gets sent to our app's URL. So if you go to that previous link and then we refresh the page, we'll be able to see this update live. So I hope this made it pretty clear. With auto layout, you'll get much better results when it comes to responsive screens. And whether your project is prototyping or not, with just one prompt, you can set up the entire navigation for your websites. And once again, I know I mentioned this already, but if you want to add any functionality to your apps here, so link it to Supabase for actual database and user logins, add AI functionality, add email functionality, billing functionality. We're not covering it in this video as this is a Figma focused video. So if you want to see that in detail and set that up for your Figma projects, make sure to check one of our previous videos. Link is in the description. There we cover it in a lot of detail. But now let's take a look at the mobile apps. So for the mobile apps, the process is pretty much the same. I'm going to start with this project we have here. It has some prototyping and it has auto layout. It is an e-commerce app. As you can see, we have auto layout and you can see some of the prototyping flows here as well. Let's import it into our project. I'm going to paste the URL, press import. And once again, same as the web app, Rocket detects our screens and lets us choose which ones we want to import. Once again, I'm going to choose all and then press import. Because it's mobile, Rocket will now proceed with a different tech stack. Here it will proceed with Flutter. At the moment, only Flutter is available for mobile apps. React Native is going to come in the near future. Down below, we'll have to choose state management options. We have block, getX, provider, riverpod, and no state management. To give you a quick summary, block is good for complex logic and data flows. getX is lightweight and fast. Provider is simple and reliable. And riverpod is flexible and scalable. Without state management is best used for just widgets or for basic apps or prototypes. Okay, and our preview is ready. And as you can see, the navigation works out of the box. We can scroll through our commerce apps. Let's click on explore. That works. The button to go back works as well. Our card works as well. Same as the web, on the top we can navigate the different pages manually here. I went to the address details. As you can see, we can fill in the information here to add our addresses. We have a registration screen here, product search screen where we can actually search for the different products and then click on them. Looks good to me. Looks like our Figma project. Now, if you are happy with this project and you wanted to publish it, you can actually click on the top right and then click install on phone. Then you can click on build and actually build out your APK. In a few minutes, Rocket will take all of the code and compile an APK file for you. Once it's ready, you'll be able to click on download and actually download it to your computer. To install it, you can click the link in the description to see our documentation where it explains exactly how to install APK files on your phone so that you can actually start testing out your app on your phone. Now, if you wanted to actually publish your app to the Android or the iOS store, we have documentation for that as well. And once again, I'll leave the link in the description down below. That documentation will walk you through step by step on actually publishing your app. And this is still in the making, but in the future, you'll actually be able to publish your apps directly from Rocket to the App Store and the Android store in just one click. But for now, you'll have to follow the guide if you want to do that. However, you can publish your mobile apps to the web as PWAs, so people can still use them on their phone. It will just not be a native app. To do that, you can click on Publish on Web. This way, your app will get published on Netlify similar to our web app. For mobile apps, however, it will be published to Rocket's Netlify account. But let's go back to our project. If you click on the top right, we can actually choose between different phone screens and see the responsiveness of our app. And it's looking good to me. If you wanted to change any of the design options, we can once again prompt in the chat. So here, for example, I prompted it to change the color of the button. Now, another feature that I think will be useful to you is that if you make any changes to your app, you can actually click on the rollback button in the chat to roll back to the previous version of your app. So if you make any changes that you don't like, you can always go back to the previous version. On the top, you'll also see this button here, which you can click to make your app public or private. If it's private, only you can view it and the people who have the link to view your app. However, if it's public, everybody on Rocket can actually view it. You can change it if you feel like sharing what you've built with everybody else. In the settings page, you can actually change the name of your project as well. You can click on the text here and then change it. But now let's test out one more mobile project. This one also has auto layout and it has full prototyping. This is actually a food ordering app. So when we click around here, you can actually see the prototype screen flows. But let's now import our project. For this example, I'm just going to import 2 screens. I chose provider once again for the state management, and now we wait. Okay, our screens have been imported. Let's check them out. That one looks good. Okay, let's check out the user profile page. That looks good as well. Okay, let's import a few more pages. So if we click on the import screens here, and then we click on import from file, it will load our previous screens. Here, I'm just going to choose all of the other screens and then click import. Okay, and all of our screens have now been imported. Let's check it out. Let's go to the home screen. As you can see, we have cards here that actually work. We can scroll through them. Let's check out the profile page. That works. And then the button works as well. The button has a nice animation. Let's check out the checkout page. Okay, that works. Takes us to the next screen. Okay, that one didn't work. Let's go to history. Start ordering. Okay, that one works. But our menu here on the top doesn't work. Let's go to the individual food listing. That looks good. Let's go to the payment method. That works. Okay, takes us to the next screen as well. Okay, these ones work. Some of the navigation didn't work. And as I showed you before, there's just one prompt. We could fix it all. If you wanted to see any of the code behind your project, you can click in the top left in the code. Here you can actually see all of the files and all of the code that has been generated for your project. Here you can press refresh to actually refresh your code. You can also push it to GitHub, and you can also download the code. I'm going to click on that. And as you can see, our project is now downloaded. We can now take our project and host it locally. Or we can follow the instructions to actually take this code and be able to publish it on the Android and the iOS store. So I hope that this video you can now see the power of Rocket and how in just a few clicks it can help you turn your designs into real apps. If you have a team that uses Figma for designing any of your projects, Rocket can seriously speed up your workflows from turning your designs into actual code. And if you want to try out Rocket for yourself, click the link in the description and make sure to check out some of our links to join our Discord community and check out our other socials. We will frequently share things that are being built with Rocket. And I will see you all in the next video.